Slip gauges or gauge blocks are universally accepted end standards of a length in industry. These were introduced by Johnson, a Swedish engineer, and are also called as a Johnson gauges. According to IS 2984, framed in 1966, the size of a slip gauges is defined as the distance between two plane measuring faces are being constituted by the surface of an auxiliary body with which one of the slip gauge face has rung and other by the exposed face to slip gauge. Generally, the slip gauges are made from high grade steel with a coefficient of thermal expansion 11.5 plus minus 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 6 per degree Celsius between 1 to 30 degrees Celsius. The slip gauges are hardened more than 800 HV, that is a hardness value, to make them wear resistance. The slip gauges are rectangular blocks of high grade steel with exceptionally close tolerances. Successful use of slip gauges, their working faces are made truly flat and parallel. The cross sections of these gauges are 9 mm by 30 mm for sizes up to 10 mm and 9 by 30 mm for larger sizes. Any two slips, when perfectly clean, may run together. The dimensions are permanently marked on one of the measuring faces of the gauge blocks. The success of precision measurements by using slip gauges depends on the phenomena of ringing. The slip gauges are rung together by hand through a combined sliding and twisting motion. Procedure of ringing. Before the using, the slip gauges are cleaned by using a lint-free cloth, a chamois leather, or a cleansing tissue. One slip gauge is then oscillated slightly over the other gauge with a light pressure. One gauge is then placed at a 90 degree to other by using the light pressure, and then it is rotated until the blocks are brought in one line. In this way, air is expelled out from between the gauge faces, causing the gauge blocks to adhere. The adhesion is caused partly by molecular attraction and partly by atmospheric pressure. When two gauges are rung in this manner, is exactly the sum of their individual dimensions. The rung gauge can be handled as a unit without the need for clamping all the pieces together. Indian standards recommended 5 grades of accuracy. Grade 2. These gauge blocks are workshop grade for rough checks. These are used for preliminary setting up of components where production tolerances are relatively wide, for positioning, milling cutters, and checking mechanical width. Grade 1. Gauge blocks are used for more precise work such as setting of sign bars, checking gap gauges, and setting dial test indicators to 0. Grade 0. These are inspection grade gauge blocks used in tool room and inspection department for high accuracy work. Grade 00. These gauges are placed in the standard room and used for highest precision work, such as checking grade 1 and grade 2 slip gauges. Calibration grade. This is a special grade with the actual size of the slips calibrated on a special chart supplied with a set. Slip gauges are used for direct precise measurement where the accuracy of the workpiece demands it. For the checking accuracy of a vernier caliper, micrometer, and such other measuring instruments, setting up a comparator to a specific dimension, for measuring the angle of a workpiece and also for angular setting in conjunction with a sine bar. The distance of a plugs, spigots, etc. on a fixture are often best measured with the slip gauges or end bars for large dimensions. To check the gap between parallel locations, such as in a gap gauges or between two mating parts. There are many measurements which can be made with slip gauges, either alone or in conjunction with other simple apparatus such as straight edges, rollers, balls, sine bars, and extra. The selection of slip gauges for required dimensions. Always start with the last decimal place and deduct this from the required dimension. Select the next smallest figure in the same way. Find the remainder and continue this until the required dimension is completed. Minimum number of slip gauges necessary to build up the given dimensions should be selected. Let us suppose that the dimensions to be built up is a 29.758 millimeter. For last decimal place of a 0.008, select 1.008 slip gauge. Now the dimension left is a 28.75. For second decimal place of a 0.05, select 1.25 millimeter slip gauge. Therefore, the remainder is 27.5 millimeter. Now select the 7.5 millimeter and deduct it from 27.5. Remainder is a 20 millimeter. And lastly select the 20 millimeter slip gauge to build up the required combination. Thus total 4 slip gauges are required to set up the given dimensions: 1.008, then 1.25 millimeter, then 7.5, and last is a 20 millimeter. Set a dimensions of 57.895 by using M112 slip gauge set. As per the procedure, consider the last digit of a given dimension. So the last third digit is of 5. So from given set, from stage 1, select the slip gauge of 1.005 millimeter length. Subtract it from 57.895. It gives the remainder as a 56.89. Then from the second stage, select the gauge of a thickness 1.39. After subtraction, the remainder is a 55.5. Now the last digit is a 0.5. So from next stage, select the slip gauge of a thickness 5.5. After subtraction, the remainder is a 50. Now select the last slip gauge having a thickness of a 50. Thus, the 4 slip gauges having the thickness of 1.005, 1.39, 5.5 and 50 gives us the required dimension of a 57.895. Protect all the surfaces against climatic conditions by applying suitable anti-corrosive such as petroleum jelly. Protect the gauges and their case from dust and dirt. Gauges should not be magnetized, otherwise they will attract metallic dust. During the actual use, the fingering of a lapped faces should be avoided. Handling should be as minimum as possible to avoid transfer of heat from hand to gauges. If the gauges have been handled for some time, they should be allowed to settle down to prevailing room temperature. For highest accuracy measurement at a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius is necessary. Actually, both the work to be tested and the gauges rung together should be allowed to settle down to the prevailing temperature of the room before doing any test. Gauges should not be held above the open case when being rung together. The required gauges should be selected and the case then closed. Placing gauges with their working surfaces on surface plate should be avoided. Gauges should not be left rung together for an unnecessary length of time. Immediately after use, the gauges should be slid apart, cleaned, and the measuring faces coated with a suitable protective layer of a jelly, grease, or etc. A brush should not be used as this may aerate the jelly and moisture in the air bubbles so form may cause rusting of the faces.